Welcome to the Deerfield Theater podcast. In this season, we're talking about Deerfield's production of Shrek the Musical. In case you're tuning in and didn't already know, Deerfield Theater is putting on a production of Shrek the Musical this November of 2025, and auditions start on Sunday, August 17th, and go through Tuesday, August 19th. With callbacks on Wednesday, August 20th. So while you're listening to this episode, visit the link in the show notes and sign up for auditions. Without further delay, here's the interview. I am so excited to have with me, I think the furthest in advance we've been able to actually record one of these for an upcoming show, the director of Deerfield Theater's upcoming Shrek the Musical, Karen Shuman. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So just in case our listeners haven't come across one of your shows before, tell us a little bit about yourself and also what made you want to do Shrek the Musical.
I have been doing theater since I was a young girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I started directing in my, honestly, I kind of dabbled in it in college. And then it grew as I got into my 20s. And so I've been involved in the theater for a really long time. Shrek is one of my favorite, first of all, it's one of my favorite movies. I was telling anyone, it's one of the most quoted movies in my household. So, it's always in the morning, I'm making waffles.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly where my mind went.
Right.
Right.
Or, Shrek, my mouth is open and everything. We do sort of do that, we're constantly quoting the movie. And then I saw the musical with Brian Darcy James and Sutton Foster. And right now his name is escaping me, but he plays Farquaad. And the music is so beautiful. The Who I'd Be and Build a Wall, to me, are some of the most just simply beautiful melodies. And so the show itself is fun, but heartfelt and just naturally a good show, right? There's no scheming in it. These are just all sorts of characters that want to be loved. And I think it just really resonates. So that's why I pushed hard for it. I really love it.
Yeah, I can tell you as a board member, it's been on the docket as a possible thing to do for at least a couple of years, if not more.
Sure.
So super happy to see it there. And also my kid is now old enough. She's 4.5. She's been watching the Shrek movies to get her ready.
For sure. Have you shown her the musical?
So I haven't showed her the musical yet, and we did the same thing with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Willy Wonka, which was our show last year, right? So we didn't actually, there's some of the songs are similar, but some are different, right?
Right.
In particular, she's been singing "Living the Vida Loca," which might be from the second Shrek movie. I think maybe they close out with that song.
I think so. I actually think it's maybe there's one. They have I Need a Hero from Footloose in one of them too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think the fairy godmother sings that.
So to people who, especially with their kids, have watched the Shrek movies, as far as the musical is concerned, this is a genuine question for me too, because I haven't seen the musical yet. There's a lot of pop music in these Shrek movies. And so compared to the musical, I assume because of third party IP rights, we're not going to hear those songs, right?
No, you're not. You're not going to hear those songs. You're not going to. Hallelujah is a big one that's in. There's a really beautiful Hallelujah, right? Cover in it, and that's not in the show. But
that makes it its own special, unique thing, as far as in the Shrek, universe, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, they've got Puss in Boots. I mean, there's an expanded universe of Shrek stuff.
It's like Star Wars meets right with its own EU.
Right.
Right. There will be don't I'm a Believer is at the very end.
Okay.
And that's the one that's in the movie.
Right.
But the rest are a brand new score that's unique to the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's exciting because now, the music is such a huge part of Shrek, I feel like, for the films, that now the kids can be leaving singing, new songs as they leave the theater after watching the show. Am I right?
Absolutely. There's some catchy ones. There's some catchy ones. There is definitely a gastric battle that happens between Shrek and Fiona. That's really interesting because that's kind of how they bond. And so it's one of the ways they
Oh
bond is
yeah.
sort of through body gas. And so that's just such a fun one to do. Kind of look forward to getting into that song.
I,
Oh,
I mean, who doesn't like a good fart joke? Am I right? All
it's
ages,
a
all ages.
well-timed good fart joke is paramount to enjoying life.
I know my kid. That's one of my kids' favorite scenes from the show for sure. I'm also interested to know, like, because some of the humor in the movies are very adult, and like I
Very
was
cool.
surprised going back and watching this with my little one, like. Oh wow, like I can't believe they went there, but my kid has no idea because it's very much
Right,
over
isn't
her
that?
head.
And we
So,
didn't have any idea, right? Right. It
right,
absolutely went over my head too, even as a young adult watching
right.
that movie, for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
Some things that they say. So for the adults who are curious, like for the parents who are curious about that type of humor, like how much of that carries over into the musical?
It's a really good mix of
Okay.
adult. It's a really Farquaad brings a lot of adult nuanced humor
Hmm.
to the stage. And there's certainly the fairy tale creatures certainly do that too. And they're callbacks to our childhood, but there's also definitely adult level jokes that
Hmm.
until kids experience it, they don't know what we're talking about. So
Right.
I think it's the humor and the heart really have a great balance in that show.
So at the time we were recording, we haven't even conducted auditions yet. And so that's
Correct.
that's one of the reasons we want to have you on early is because there's still room for folks who are listening to this, even if it's within the first 2 or 3 weeks of publication. Auditions start August 17th and
Correct.
run through that Tuesday the 19th with callbacks on Wednesday, August 20th. All of them taking place at Jewett Park Community Center in Deerfield. So if folks were interested in auditioning, like what kind of age ranges are you looking for? Like, because while it's obviously a show for families of all ages, like who should come out and audition for this thing? What do you want to see as director?
It's a really, when they say all ages, it is an all ages show. There are a couple of young roles. There's a young Fiona, a young Shrek, a baby bear. So there are, maybe eight or nine. I don't know. I actually don't know the lowest age that were, but I would say maybe I shouldn't say eight, probably 9 or 10,
Mhm.
and that's a good. I should check on that actually, and then all the way up. I mean, whoever wants to do it, octogenarians, they can certainly come out, and septarians if they want to come out and audition. I think that the show is really speaks to the wide the human condition, so it's not age limited.
Right, right, but
Right. I mean,
it is such like talk about because you've been a director like you said, like talk about how cool it is to be able to have that experience of being like a young actor with older actors or vice versa even because you
that's
don't
a
always
great
sometimes
question.
you're just acting with all people around the same age.
That's a great question. There is a level that there's a level of understanding and nuance that different generations bring to the table based on where they are in their lives, whether it be experience or whether it be new energy. And so we can learn from each other and each other's experiences simply, and not even if you're not skilled or experienced in the theater per se, but you are in life, as long as you're honest and you bring those in and you're looking to make those connections with each other. It's one of the best learning experiences. We are so very lucky to be able to do what we do. There aren't a lot of people that get to experience joy on a stage and then communicate it with the audience.
Hmm.
I had a teacher in at Second City who, when there's this overwhelming, it's almost like a runner's high, that sort of euphoria that comes over you when really the audience and the cast is locked in. And he calls it touching the divine. And I just think it's such a beautiful phrase of how pure and joyous experiencing theater together really is. And how it's so metaphorical for what happens in our lives that we get to take these risks on stage and we get to learn from each other as actors and as characters and as writers and as storytellers and share it together. It's such a very unique experience. So people who are looking for that, that's the kind of energy that I'm looking for with regard to my cast. I'm looking that they get to go on this journey together, and hopefully what we end up with is the story we want to tell.
Mhm.
But that journey is the most important part of that story. And I believe that or the experience, and I believe that that will translate on stage. That's sort of my style as a director, but it's also my hope for this show.
Yeah, yeah, and so there's there's tons of opportunities. Everything's at deerfieldtheater.com. Folks should go check it out.
Right.
There's like a button that says click here for more information where you could go sign up for your slot, download all the
Sure.
materials. But
Yeah.
but it looks like there's a
And do
lot
it
of roles.
soon.
Yes, yes, do it
Do
soon.
it soon. Filling up. We
Yeah,
are filling up. Yeah.
get your spot for sure. So it looks like there's a lot of great big roles, but then there's a lot of opportunities to be part of the ensemble, right? So like this is a
Oh, yes.
larger show as far as cast is concerned, right?
Sure. A larger featured show too. The ensemble really, they're all featured roles. So
Hmm.
there isn't, it's not an ensemble per se, really. The script does designate an ensemble, but they all have characters.
Yeah, yeah. So there's the three bears, there's the Mad Hatter, the big bad wolf. Like yes, you are part of the ensemble and you're like you're in the background and you're part, but also you are a character. You're not
Correct.
just some random make come up with your own pantomiming and give yourself a background. No, you have a
No, you
background.
no, you have a really rich fairy tale to pull from, right? And they're all and how you get to pull from it is based on who you are as an actor, right? There are no limits, they're fairy tales, they're imaginary. So you have a shape, but you can sort of morph that shape as much as you want to within the script itself and the tone. But no, there's no small parts, but there really aren't any. They're all integral parts to the show. Plus, you have the members of Dulac, so there's different roles to play too. So there will be costume changes.
I mean, it sounds like so much fun, right? Like if I didn't have the little one, I would be so jumping on board to audition for this. So like for those listening, like take advantage of this while we have an opportunity to do Shrek locally. It sounds like such a fun opportunity. So then like let's say this might be somebody's first audition. Sometimes you
Sure,
get that with community theater. Like what I love about Deerfield Theater is we have such incredible talent of all ranges, of all ages, of all different
sure.
experience levels, right? We get professional actors that want to come and perform in our shows because we pick such great shows and we have such great production team. But we also get people that it might be their first show. So whether they're an experienced auditioner or this might be their first audition, Karen, like what some advice that you have for them?
So I'm gonna hit that in two parts because I do want to go back to something that you had said about what do people learn about being in a show with different skill level or different ages, but there's also that different skill level component.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's something to be said for a seasoned actor to be able to watch a new actor come in and learn, because then there are reminders of what we may have forgotten along the way.
Hmm.
And there are new moments that always happen with discovery of skill. So it's not just, and then the new actors get to, especially acting, you learn most by doing, right?
Yeah.
It's the verb. So watching other people do and make choices really allows new actors that freedom and understanding to be able to do that. So, what do I say with regard to auditioning? It is probably the scariest component of. I don't, and I know seasoned auditioners who still get nervous, right? I actually teach public speaking in my citizen life. And so the what I would say is flip the script in your mind of I'm so nervous to I'm so excited to show this group of people what I'm capable of doing. you have to switch that talk in your head, and that will really help you transfer that nervous energy to excitement. What we are looking for is somebody who is, and understand that your nervousness doesn't show as much as you think it does, right? But what we're looking for are people who show up as characters. They've committed to the character of their song, and they understand the story of their song. They understand why they're doing it. They've and that they feel comfortable maybe taking risks on stage that are in front of us, that they're making choices. And I know that sort of sounds kind of vague, but if they step into the character of the song, that's what we're really looking for.
Yeah.
Right. And that can happen at any skill level, at any experience level. Skill is right different, but at any experience level, that can happen. Those choices can be made. I've seen 8-year-olds come out and make me cry in an audition because they're just so very committed to who their character is that they're singing about. So step through the fear,
Yeah.
and come and show us what you got.
Yeah. There's definitely something to that, and some 8-year-olds are very experienced too because they've been doing it since they were little.
Listen, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that, but there's something to that beginner's mindset where you don't know what you don't know and you don't overthink things.
Right. We will guide you through it. You will step. So essentially, what's going to happen is you're going to check in. You will step into the room. We will say hi. We'll kind of do a real quick hi. Who do we have in front of us? You will fill out a form so the directing team knows what your experience is and what your availability is, and all sorts of fun things like that. And then you'll give your sheet music to the guy behind the piano, and then you'll just sort of step back, tell us who you are, what you're singing, and then you'll sing. And that's what happens. No more, no less. It really is a matter of, here's my sheet music. I'm going to do what I practiced in front of the mirror in front of you. And then you go off and you learn a little dance. And by little dance, I mean you learn a piece of the dance, which tends to be the most, I think, all of a sudden everybody relaxes once they get to the dance room, right? And then you'll learn a little bit of the dance. We'll come in and watch you dance, and then you get to go home. And that's really for any new beginner. It's not, it's definitely not rocket science in that you don't need to come in and have a calculus formula. You're not going to be tested on your knowledge of the song choice that you're singing. You're going to be able to just come in and sing for us and then dance for us.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before on the show, but just in case this is somebody's first episode, it's okay. So, not everybody could get a role in a show, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't come and give it a try. Just getting that experience of auditioning is so crucial and important, especially to your future in this industry, if that's something that you're interested in. And just because you didn't, if you get it, great. Congratulations. I look forward to laughing and having fun seeing you on stage. And if you don't, that's okay. Maybe it just wasn't a good fit. It's nothing, it really isn't personal.
No.
Because Karen, like every director has a vision, right? So and that's not to say somebody could come in, right, and it could change your vision. But so I guess talk to a little bit about that, about your vision, about like the way that you look at auditions and how that makes you adapt and change maybe what you came into it with.
So I have a vision, an overall umbrella vision for the show that really is about what we're trying to discuss in this current political climate, and how we want to really find ways to challenge. The meaning of the show for me is that we challenge who people tell us we are to really become who we are. And the true character of the show, the person that we want to, or the being that we want to exemplify is Donkey. He is as true to himself and what he's capable of, and loves out loud, and really doesn't compromise that. And accepts everyone. So there's that piece that I think we've lost in this political climate right now that I think we really need to tap into. And Shrek as a metaphor does that well for us, right? It allows us to do that a little bit easier than confronting each other on that.
Mhm.
That's my overall vision. But what I want to do in terms of the story itself is balance the moments of gravity and discovery and self-discovery with moments of lightheartedness and humor and pure joy. That's the balance that I'm going to try and achieve. What you this one that's a puzzle that we're putting together as a team. And sometimes the puzzle pieces don't fit. There are matches that we are looking for with Shrek and Fiona, just in terms of age, or in terms of skill level. How are these voices going to blend together? That's a
Yeah.
beautiful voice, but it doesn't fit with some of the other voices. So how does that work? And that has nothing to do with somebody's talent. It has all to do with how does this puzzle work together?
Mhm.
And that is part of, probably as an actor, and I've auditioned. I was an actor for several years. And one of the hardest things to do was really understand that it wasn't me. It was the that particular show I wasn't a fit for.
Right.
That's it. It says nothing about who I am. It says nothing about my talent. It says nothing about my value. It says all to do with what that show needed. And they and it opens the door for me to go and find something else that does work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Or I do work for.
I think that's such an important lesson. And, I guess I don't want to, we're going to have you back on as we get closer to the show. So for longtime listeners that are like, well, where's the questions that Matthew always asks his guests? We're going to save that for part 2 with Karen as we lead up
Oh,
to the
okay, great.
show, because I want folks like to have something that they know now they could go and they can,
Well, please.
they could go and
Come on.
sign up for auditions and go there. So teaser, because we'll get into that with Karen next time she's on, about how being an actor has informed her being a director. So just
Sure, yeah.
teaser for future episode and some other topics that we like to cover with guests on the show. So then, just in case people want to go back and listen to all the episodes of the people that I'm interviewing for Shrek the Musical, they might listen to this first. So if they're listening to this when auditions have closed and they are just getting geared up to see the show, I'm realizing that you haven't cast anybody yet.
Right.
Why should somebody go and see Deerfield Theater's production of Shrek the Musical?
Well, I think first, if you like the show, there's always something new to see from a different production of the show that you love.
Yeah.
So this is one of those shows that I love to go see. I think because of the people that will put together, that the heart that you're going to see on that stage is something that you want to experience as an audience member. And it's just such simply a good show musically. It's a good time. And so that's why I would say come and see it. I I don't know what this cast looks like, and I'm really excited to see who comes out and who surprises us. And I'm so excited about that. But the show itself is just one of those enjoyable shows that goes quickly. You're not sitting waiting for stuff to happen and waiting for us to get to the next scene. It moves. And these are characters that we love. So we're familiar with them. We know them. They're safe. It's a good time.
Yeah, and always with our local shows, my daughter always has so much fun. And she has sometimes asked me, can we go see Beauty and the Beast again? Or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory again?
Yes, right.
But the nature, because, for them, like, oh, you could watch anything on Disney Plus, right? Like, it's there
Right,
forever,
right,
and you can
right,
watch it a million
right,
times
right,
in a row.
right.
But live theater is ephemeral, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's only going to happen this time,
right,
in this case,
right.
in this performance, in this moment.
So that's always a reason to go and see live theater, right?
Absolutely. Because you get to experience, you're one of a few people in a room experiencing this together at the same time. I mean, it is an exciting thing. Live theater is incredibly exciting and incredibly important right now. it's important for us to get our faces. I say that as a phone addict, right? But it's important for our to get our faces away from one screen and move to a stage. It's important for us to connect with each other and laugh together and sigh together and cry together and experience those emotions together. And we can't do that when we are tied to a screen.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I don't think we're going to get better than that for this. So Karen, stick around. We're going to sign off. I just want to remind folks, link in the show notes, or go to deerfieldtheater.com and sign up for auditions. And if you hear this later, that's also where you can buy your tickets to the show. So Karen, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It was wonderful. I really appreciate it.
And that's our show. Please share this podcast to help support the work of Deerfield Theater. An even better way to support us is to go see Shrek the Musical. To purchase tickets, visit deerfieldtheater.com or click the link in the show notes. Thank you to the production staff and cast for Shrek the Musical. Please follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your preferred listening app to never miss an episode. Until next time, thanks to everyone who continues to support the arts. We'll see you at the theater.